Okay, so welcome to our Industrial Organization Management course. So this is the chapter 1. So we have the introduction to management. Under the chapter 1, we have the lesson 1 or the modern management skills for success. So before we proceed to our main discussion, let's have the objectives of this course. So we have 9. So number 1, we have the understanding of the importance of management to society and individuals. Number 2, an understanding of the role of the management. Number 3, the ability to define the management in several different ways. Number 4, an ability to list and define the basic function of management. Number 5, working definition of managerial effectiveness and managerial efficiency. Number 6, an understanding of basic management skills and their relative importance to managers. Number 7, an understanding of the universality of the management. Number 8, insight concerning what management careers are and how they evolve. And lastly, knowledge of skills that helps managers become successful. So if you will notice, these are the knowledge that we need to gain. At the same time, what will be the outcome of this subject course? So we need to gather some information based on the application that we can. So these are the topic na kailangan nating matutunan. At the same time, ito yung makakatulong sa atin para magkaroon tayo ng magandang outcome pagdating sa isang organization. So, for the lesson proper, we need to define the management. Management is the process of reaching organizational goals by working through people and other organizational resources. So, if you will notice, there are three factors to be considered para ma-identify natin or ano ba talaga yung meron sa isang management. So, management provides the process of continuing and related activities. So, number 2, involves and concentrate on reaching organizational goals. Number 3, works with and through people and other organizational resources. So, kung mapapansin natin, management ay sila yung gumagawa or sila yung nagpa-pursue towards the goals of the company by assigning the different activities or organization members to be performed. So, kadalasan din, ang ating organization ay nagsaset with the different certain purposes of goals, or the managers are responsible for combining and using organizational resources to ensure that their organization achieve their purposes. Because of the process of the management, they are giving emphasis to the different achievement of goals, or the managers must keep the organizational goals in mind at all time. So when we are making the different activities within the company, make sure lang that we are aligned, no? Iniisip natin yung aspeto na kailangan ay makakatulong to within the company. At the same time, for the development of each individual. So tinitignan natin na kailangan nare-reach pa ba natin yung goal ng company or hindi. So management can also refer to a body of knowledge. In this context, the management is cumulative body of information that furnishes insight on how to manage. Tinitigan niya kung paano i-handle. Paano ba niya i-handle yung company? Paano ba niya i-handle yung tao? Paano ba niya i-handle yung procedures or the processes of the company? The management can also refer to the individual who guide and direct the organization to a career devoted to task of guiding and directing the organization. Nasa kanila ang buhay kung paano i-manage ang isang company. Yan. So, let's have the importance of the management. The role of the management is to move an organization towards its purposes or goals by assigning activities that organization members perform. If the management ensures that all activities are designed effectively, the production of each individual worker will continue to the attainment of the organizational goals. So, tinitigan natin, so, efficient and effective na ang isang organization. Yun ang mahalaga eh. So, tinitigan natin yung outcome. Kapag maganda yung outcome of the company, so ibig sabihin, the management, yung kung paano nila i-handle within the company, maganda yung nagiging resulta. So we have the influence of phases of all organization. We have the operations, market, and workforce. So pag sinabi natin operation within the operating of the company, markets, so this is external sa tinitigan natin outside of the company, within outside and inside of the company. Workforce within the company. So sino-sino ba yung mga taong involved? So in these three phases of the organization, you will encounter different peoples who handle this management level. So for the operation, we have the example. For example, we have the plant managers. So yung plant managers natin are running the manufacturing operation. Sila yung nag-iisip kung ano yung dapat nating suotin. For example, in terms of the clothing, ano yung dapat nating suotin pagdating sa pagkain, what are the foods that we need to eat, or in terms of the automobiles, ano yung kailangan nating sasakyan, something like that. So, ibig sabihin that plant managers are handling the operations of the company, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa manufacturing industry. In terms of the markets, so we have the sales manager, maintain a sales force that markets goods. Tinitignan nila yung aspeto. Tinitigan nila or kulang pa ba yung kailangan nating i-supply o ano pa yung kailangan nating i-supply in the markets. At the same time, tinitignan niya kung nagbe-benefit ba yung company or hindi. So, malaki ba yung nagiging sales? Malaki ba yung nagiging profit? Or hindi. So, tinitignan natin yung status of the company. At the same time, status of the products or the services sa buong industry. So, we have the workforce. So, these are the personnel or the human resource managers. Provide the organization with a competent and productive workforce. So, ibig sabihin, yung HR na natin yung gumagawa ng mga rules and regulations na dapat sundan within the company. So, doon natin makikita kung maganda ba yung pamamalakad ng isang HR, kung okay sa kanila yung mga policies and procedures for the implementations. So, in these different phases of the organization, we will encounter different positions or other personnels. It's based on the motives of the users or the viewpoint of the person. For example, we have the branch manager, we have the store manager, we have the accounting manager, project manager, and so on. So we have the management task. So the task management is defined as the process of handling the entire life cycle of a task, right from planning to tracking to execution. It helps teams track tasks from the beginning, setting deadlines, prioritizing tasks, and assigning them to the right people. So, in terms of the management task or the tasks of the management can help either individual achieve their goals or a group of individuals with collaborate and share knowledge for the accomplishment of the collective goals. So in different hierarchy of the management, if you will notice, from the employee to the top management, so they are giving information or they are giving feedback within the company to help para ma-achieve natin yung goals natin. Hindi pwedeng puro top management lang, hindi pwedeng puro employee lang. Kailangan give and take tayo in terms of the sharing of knowledge. So if you will notice on the table 1.1, there are top 10 highest compensated top managers for 2003. So we are given different rankings from 1 to 10. We have the CEO name, we have the company name, and the compensation of each management in terms of thousand. So ang currency niya is dollar. So if you will notice, we are familiar with the Dell computer and the Starbucks. So with the highest compensation of $116,683, so the rank 1 si Jeffrey, no? Sa healthcare. So ibig sabihin, nasa industry siya ng safety or health, no? We have the top 10. So we have the American International Group. So earning $29,354. So if you will notice, we have the different companies, no? So it's either in manufacturing, it's either in the merchandising, or in the services industry. So dyan yung makikita yung differences ng different management. So kaya sila yung top 10, siguro the application of the management level are very attainable, at the same time effective and efficient yung kanilang management. So we have the management task, the bodies and humans resource managers, gender, specialists, and pay equity to equality, whereby the skills are recognized and their job tasks are accorded value, not only symbolically but every concrete terms through pay adjustments. So when we are talking about the manager's gender, the gender pay gap or the gender wage gap, this is the average between the remuneration for men and women who are working. Sa tinitigan natin yung differences, kung meron bang gap pagka ang lalaki yung nagwo-work in terms of the manager, or kapag yung babae yung nagwo-work. So women are generally considered to be paid less than men, no? So we have the adjusting for different causes. So if you will notice, based on the figure 1.2, the salary gap between the genders, so the differences or the comparison of the work tasks of the men and women. So if you will notice, with the highest paid, no? So almost 53% on the percent of workforce, mas mataas yung workforce ng men compared sa women. Pero in terms of the earning, so mas mataas pa rin yung men compared dun sa women. And we have the earnings, no, for 50,000 to 75,000. Mas mataas pa rin yung 20% of men compared dun sa women. So if we are comparing the salary within the rather than across, data sets help to focus on specific factors by controlling of other factors. For example, we have to eliminate the role or of the horizontal and vertical segregation in gender pay gap. Salary can be compared by gender within the specific job function. So we need to eliminate transnational differences in job market, or measurement can be focused on the single geographic area. So for this gender pay gap is not itself measure for discrimination. Hindi kailangan tignan natin yung discrimination niya. Rather, it combines the differences in the average of pay women and men to serve a barometer for comparison para ma-identify lang natin. So differences may pay cause of occupational segregation, no? With more men is higher paid industries and women in lower paid industry. Pagdating sa mga, ano ba yung mga different factors? No, hindi pwedeng kasi babae yan, kasi lalaki yan, ganito. So we have to consider the different factors. Vertical segregation, fewer women in senior or better paying position. It depends on the position and based on seniority siguro. Ineffective equal pay legislation, women overall paid working hours, barriers to entry in the labor market. For example, educational attainment. Mataas ba yung educational attainment mo? Siyempre, kapag ikaw ay college grad, mas mataas ang salary mo compare with high school grad. Or yung tinatawag nating single parenting rate. No? Some variables may help explain and not adjusted gender pay gap include the economy activity o yung mga working time, job tenure, kung matagal ka na. So, yan yung mga different factors to be considered, including the differences of qualification and discrimination, overall wage structure, and the difference of remuneration across the industry sectors all influence the gender pay gap. So, yun siya. Okay, we have the role of the management. The four primary functions of managers are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. By using the four function, managers work increase the efficiency and effectiveness of their employees, processes, projects, and organizations as a whole. So the management conduct the process of guiding up development, so maintenance and allocation of resources to attain the organizational goals. So commonly, the managers are the people in the organization responsible in developing and carrying out this management process. So management is dynamic by nature and evolves to meet the constraints in the organization, internal or external environment. In a global marketplace where the rate change rapidly increasing, flexibility and adaptability are the crucial of the manager's process. So kaya meron tayong different functions of the managers to be considered, the four. Yan. So the four functions of the management. So let us see the management process, kung paano sila ginagawa. So planning involves choosing tasks must be performed to attain organizational goals, outlining how the tasks must be performed, and indicating when they should be performed. So dito sa planning, there are set of objectives and state mission. Naglalagay sila ng examine alternatives, determine the needed resources, or create strategies to reach the objectives. So this is collaboration na. Tinitigan natin yung mga different aspect. Pag sinabi naman nating organizing, assigning the tasks developed under the planning function to various individuals or groups within the organization, create a mechanism to put plans into action. So these are the design jobs and specific tasks, or nagki-create sila ng organizational structure, staff position, coordinate work activities, or nagsaset sila ng policies and procedures to allocate the different resources. Yan, well organized. So ibig sabihin, meron silang mechanism na dapat sundin. Influencing, skills required a business person to take others' perspective into account. It involves getting people to change their minds about the topic and to act in a certain way by acknowledging their opinions. Influencing people is about getting something done instead of complaining that is a certain way. So, influencing kasi, this is the lead or the motive employees to accomplish the organizational goals. You need to communicate with the employees, resolve conflict, and manage change. So, tinitignan natin yung aspeto in terms of your socialization. Kung paano ka ba makipag-communicate or paano ka ba magbigay ng opinion with the others to adapt in a good way. So, we have the controlling is one of the important function of the manager in order to seek plan result from the subordinates. A manager needs to exercise effective control over the activities and subordinates. In other words, the meaning of controlling function can be defined and ensuring the activities in all organization are performed as per the plans. Controlling other ensures that all organization resources are being used effectively and efficiently for the achievement of the predetermined goals. So, dito, mini-measure natin yung performance or kino-compare natin yung mga different standards and take necessary action to improve the performance. So, leads the organization efficiency and effectiveness leads to achievement of organization mission and objectives. So, ibig sabihin, controllable na siya. So, pagka nakikita mong mayroong problem, so, you need to take an action para hindi lumaki yung nagiging problema ng isang company. So, we have the management process and goal attainment. So, these are the factors to be considered. Bias for action, closeness to customer, autonomy and entrepreneurship, productivity through people, hands-on, value-driven orientation, sticking to the knitting, simple organization formed with lean staff, and simultaneous loose tight properties. So, these are the management process and goal attainment na kailangan nating makuha. For example, so within the company, kailangan you are fair in different aspect. So, hindi pwedeng kakumari mo siya, kaibigan mo siya. Kailangan isasang-ayon ka. Make sure lang for every goal attainment, you are pertaining to the goal and objectives of the company. So, the management task diagram. So, in figure 1.3, interrelation of the four functions of the management to attain the organizational goals. So, kung mapapansin nyo, or the four functions of the management are only pertaining to the organizational goals of the company. Whether you are in organizing, controlling, planning, or influencing procedure, so it always think of the organizational goals. So, kapag ikaw ay kung mapapansin nyo, the different arrows are interconnected with each other. For example, you are in the term of controlling, so you need to consider the influencing, planning, and organizing, or vice versa in different aspect pa rin. Ayan. So, the management and organizational resources. The term management of the organization resources refers to the proper utilization of such resources as assets, information, human, and financial resources. Many organizations fail to reach their set targets due to lack of the proper management of these resources. So we have four main resources: the human, monetary, raw materials, and the capital. So when we are talking about the human resources, or the HR, these are the key resources in any organization. These are the motivation of the employee in an organization is essential in improving productivity. Make sure lang yung result. Employee motivation can be achieved by giving good remuneration, medical allowances, or bonuses, yung mga sinasabi nating benefits. It's the fundamentally established that employees embrace a company to cater their well-being as people. Kailangan meron tayong employee and company relationship, or good relationship, no? Mutual and cordial relationship between the employer and the employee translate the better performance. So, yung proper planning natin within the organization contributes to the productivity of the human resources. Planning ensure the staff are not overwhelmed with tight schedules and assigned duties. So, investment in the policy framework of the outline working plan of the employees would be for their prestation. So, if you will notice the monetary or the main resources, no? Kapag monetary naman, so ito yung mga organization can be established in the proper plan to manage the financial resources. For example, yung pag-establish mo ng budget, yung funding of gaps mo to identify the cost or the track of the documents, or the company able to assign resources to the different activities. Rest can be invested to improve the organization revenue. Pag sinabi naman nating raw materials, ito yung mga explained or substance of material used in the manufacturing or primary production of goods. So, generally, ito yung mga raw materials na natural resources like yung mga oil, wood, and iron na ginagamit within the manufacturing industry, or kung ano yung makikita mo within your company. Raw materials are often altered in the various processes prior to being used in the manufacturing process. Kapag naman capital, are goods used to make other goods or provide services. For example, yung mga machineries natin, tools, equipment, and building. So, ibig sabihin, nag-invest ka. For example, nagtayo ka ng company, so you have the capitalization in terms of building. Hindi pwedeng wala kang building, paano ka mag-work? So, meron kasing tinatawag nating ang capitalization, pwedeng in capital in terms of the different equipment. Kung iyon lang naman yung availability na meron ka. For example, the building, yun lang yung meron ka, yun yung ini-invest mo. No? Pwede rin naman in terms of the money. So, the management and organizational resources flow chart. So, we have the figure 1.4, the transformation of organization resources into finished products through the production process. So, kung mapapansin mo, ito yung kadalasang IPO, input, process, and output. So, ini-input natin yung mga organizational resources natin. yung apat. The people, money, raw materials. So, ipapasok natin siya in the production process. So, what will be the output? The output niya, kailangan yung finished products, goods or services niya. So, makikita natin what will be the result. Next, the managerial effectiveness. Managerial effectiveness means the team and department leaders in the organization are able to organize employees to accomplish the company's goals. Skills in motivating and dealing with people are the major parts of the management effectiveness. So, kadalasan ang managerial effectiveness, ito yung performing managerial activities effectively. Ito yung mga effective managers perform activities na kailangan effectively at the same time efficiently. This means the doing the right thing and doing those things right. Many people believe that successful managers are intelligent, imaginative, or knowledgeable. Yan. Pagka naman efficiency, managerial efficiency is the proportion of the total organization resources that contribute the productivity during the manufacturing process. The higher this proportion, the more efficient the manager. The more resources wasted or used during the production process, the more efficient in the manager. So, tinitigan natin yan lahat ng aspeto. Tinitigan mo ba efficiency? So, ginagawa ba niya ng tama or hindi? Nagwe-waste ba sila or hindi? At the same time, para makita natin effective or efficient yung isang managers. For you to understand the effectiveness versus the management efficiency, we have the table, no? Figure 1.5, the various combination of managerial effectiveness and managerial efficiency. So, with the use of the different resources and goal accomplishment. So, tinitignan natin yung different aspect. So, if you will notice how to be efficient and inefficient in terms of the resources, and how to be ineffective and effective in terms of the goal accomplishment. So, if you will notice the differences between the effectiveness and efficiency can be summed up shortly, sweetly, and succinctly. Being effective is not doing the right thing, while being efficient is doing the right. So, tinitigan natin yung ganong aspeto. Companies usually seek to increase and improve the efficiency of the operation and sales processes. Kasi pag sinabi natin kasing effective ka, no? Effective in terms of the goal accomplishment, you are pursuing the right goals, but inefficient, yung cost niya ay mataas, and efficient naman siya in terms of mataas ang iyong ROI and cost efficient. Kapag naman inefficient, no? Pursuing the right goals but inefficient. So, ito yung pag sinabi natin inefficient, not producing enough and are expensive. Tapos, kapag efficient siya, so ibig sabihin, inefficient siya, ibig sabihin, you are not producing enough but low cost. Yung mga ganong case. Yan. Universality of the management. The universality of the management is the concept that all managers do the same job regardless of the title, position, management level. They are all execute 5 management function and work through and with others to achieve organizational goals. So, it indicates the managers apply the same management principles or yung skills natin in all managerial position held in different organizations. Universality means the transfer or nalilipat, transferability of the management skills across countries and industry. It also indicates the management in common to content to be applied in all forms of the organization, so that industrial manager can manage the organization or manage the hospital or the different establishment and so on. So we have the career management. The career management career also offers the opportunity to make the world a better place. The managers help the organization succeed. When organizations are usually successful, there is better utilization of the resources, less stress among employees, less chaos in society, and a better quality of life for all. Effective managers play an important role in shaping the world in which we live. So if you will notice in the figure 1.6, the relationship among the different career stage, life stage, and performance of each individual. So we have the higher performance and the lower performance. We have the exploration, establishment, maintenance, and decline. So diyan ka kasi nag-start from the exploration. So in-explore mo muna yung sarili mo, kailangan mag-trial ka. So kapag natutunan mo na, you need to establish. So kapag alam mo na talaga siya, you need to maintain. At darating yung time na magde-decline ka. So yung tinatawag natin in terms of nagre-retired ka na, or possible na ayaw mo na yung work na yon. So in terms of the advancement, so kung makikita mo in the middle of the establishment and the maintenance, dyan darating yung type na kailangan mong mag-decide, nag-grow ka ba or hindi, you need to continue ba or hindi, you need to maintain na lang ba or hindi, or kailangan mo ng bitawan, something like that. So kapag naman ikaw ay nagme-maintain ka lang, darating ang time na magde-decline ka rin. So you are not contented. If you want to grow, so ang dami pong gusto matutunan, so mag-grow ka lang na mag-grow hanggang ma-reach mo yung time na retired ka. Yan. So we have the management career development. So the manager's employee roles in enhancing the employee career development. So if you will notice in this figure, we have the different dimensions, professional employee and the managers. So in summarization, so the managing employee perception of their career development opportunities is the key in enhancing engagement and loyalty among the employees. So this is the relationship between the managers, the professional employee. So they are give and take sila kasi ng information, at the same time yung mga knowledge na sinishare sila in each other. And the managers will think what will be the career development for the employees. At the same time, yung ating employees, what will be the career development for the managers and for the company. So the management skills can be defined as a certain attributes or abilities that an executive should possess in order to fulfill specific tasks in an organization. So we have the different management skills kasi pwedeng in terms of nandiyan ka sa critical thinking, nandiyan ka in work of the people or technical aspect, and so on. Marami tayong pwedeng ma-encounter. So we have the management skills. The management skills or yung view natin. We have the technical, we have the human skills, we have the conceptual skills. So based on the management skills, we need to define the major activities that managers typically perform and list the skills needed to carry out these activities successfully. So yung major activities natin, we need to be task-related activities, people-related activities, and change-related activities. So we will encounter that. So kapag kasi sinabi nating technical skills, so may technicality aspect tayong tinitignan. Human, more on factor. Conceptual, more on the different theories application. So kung mapapansin natin, so task-related activities, related. Pagka people to people, yung task-related, work talaga. Pagka naman people-related, connection with the different people. Change-related, pwedeng outside of the company, hindi mo siya malayo na, pero may possibility na pwede parang makagather na information. So if you will notice on the management level and the management skills, so yung skills needed natin, yung kanina, conceptual, human skills, and technical skills, we have the hierarchy of the management. So we have the top management level, we have the middle, and the supervisory or operational management. On the figure 1.7, the managers move for the supervisory of the top management level. Conceptual skills become more important and technical skills, but human skills are remain equally important. So, kung mapapansin nyo, top management, nakafocus sila on conceptual skills, no? Concept, kailangang isipin nila. Pero konti lang yung kanilang human skills, no? Pagka middle management naman, ang kailangan nila is more on the human skills, pero konti lang yung conceptual, tsaka yung technical. Pagka sinabi nating supervisory or operational management, focus ka na on the technical aspect. So, dito naman, more on the knowledge na natutunan mo. This is the application na talaga, hands-on. Pero konti lang yung conceptual skills nila. Kasi pagka sinabi nating conceptual skill, more on the critical thinking, more on the decision making na yan. So, ibig sabihin, the top management is focuses on the decision making of the company. So, ganun siya. So, that's the end of our lesson 1. And I hope you learn a lot from it. And thank you. And see you for our next discussion.